Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment, and I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media, and it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. There has been investigating into the city of Denver and their harboring of criminals, which has shown that the city has spent hundreds of millions in tax dollars on criminals that have crossed over the border illegally and commit many other crimes while here. This is happening because Mayor Mike Johnston has a long history in making sure criminals get preference over citizens of this nation. This information has come out days after Johnston started a media frenzy, most likely because he is seeking higher office, when he threatened to use police to block federal law from doing their legal duty and enforcing the law. He has backed away some, but he has still said he is willing to go to jail for criminals. It would seem that Colorado would rather protect those like the Venezuelan prison gang than the innocent people of Denver. I mean, hey, that is their choice. After all, taxpayers get to choose what their tax dollars are used for, but I have a feeling that not all the people in that city want to spend their money on people who come here illegally and bring all kinds of crimes with them. By the way, just so you can learn who Mike Johnston is, and by the way, research links are in the Substack down below. Mike Johnston was born in Oklahoma, where he then went to Yale for a teaching degree, followed by Harvard Masters in Education. He then went back to Yale to attend the law school there. Basically, he went to a place that hates everything that isn't a liberal elite. Johnston used his experience in education to start being an education policy advisor for various politicians on all levels of government. By the way, he did teach in a few places. All of this was followed by him becoming a politician himself, but not before working with schools that specialize in handling children with behavior issues or criminal records. He was an advisor for Obama during the 2008 election, which gained him notice. He would end up in the Colorado legislature in 2009, with one of his biggest achievements being the co-sponsor of the Asset Bill. This bill allowed people in the nation illegally a chance to pay in-state instead of out-of-state tuition if graduated from a Colorado high school or got a GED in the state. Johnson failed in several other elections before finally being elected as mayor of Denver. Beyond helping criminals, he also declared a state of emergency over the homeless population in the city.
Incoming Trump administration vowing mass deportations of immigrants, Colorado officials are vowing to do whatever they can to resist. But Denver Mayor Mike Johnston facing scrutiny after recent comments he made suggesting he would use Denver police to block federal officials from carrying out those mass deportation efforts.
And I probably later today, right? Something to get to an event and right before 12.
What did you mean with the Denverite comment?
I'm so sorry, you guys. He has somewhere to be.
Before we could even turn our camera on, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston was already running away from reporters. We tried asking him about an interview he gave talking about how the city would respond to President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation plan. The mayor told Denverite the city would resist efforts by federal officials to deport immigrants. More than us having DPD stationed at the county line to keep them out, you would have 50,000 Denverites there, Johnston said, comparing it to a Tiananmen Square moment with the Rose and Gun.
You know, I think the next 4 years will be a tough 4 years, and I genuinely believe that it is a fight for all of us.
Gladys Ibarra is the executive director of the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition. She says since Trump's win, immigrant families are worried.
He's made promises, And I think we should be prepared for those promises coming into some type of action.
She says it's important for state and local leaders, along with ordinary Coloradans, to defend them in this moment.
We've seen our governor join forces with other governors to make sure that they protect democracy. I think the best way to do that is to show that we can hold the line here in Colorado and continue to be a leader in that way.
But some say the mayor's comments went too far. They even accuse him of trying to start a civil war. Trump's transition team didn't respond directly to the mayor's comments, but said President Trump will marshal every lever of power to secure the border, protect their communities, and launch the largest mass deportation operation of illegal immigrant criminals in history. Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Johnson decided he would call out Trump and his new administration, specifically the soon-to-be border czar Tom Homan. This is going to be via Channel 9 News in Denver. He said, I would if I believed our residents are having their rights violated, Johnston said. I think things are happening that are illegal or immoral or un-American in our city. I would certainly protest it, and I would expect the other residents would do the same. Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things? I like how he asked this question. This Salinger fella at Channel 9 asked that question. Oh, they're going to enact policies. Here's the thing. They're not enacting policies. There's an actual law in place, and it says specifically what is supposed to be done. Actual law. And it's been the Biden-Harris administration that hasn't been enforcing the law. So it's no policies being enacted. It's the law. Yeah, I'm not afraid of that. I'm also not seeking that. I think the goal is we want to be able to negotiate with reasonable people how to solve hard problems. The mayor said he would encourage people to protest. I think we're going to look at every option, Johnston said. But yeah, I talked to some high school kids this week who were terrified about this. I don't think those kids are going to stand there and watch 3 of their classmates get pulled out of a history class while the other 27 stand by and do nothing. I don't think that's what Denverites or Americans would do in this context at all. Johnston said he is not opposed at all to deportations, but fears people who have committed no crimes in the United States other than being in the country illegally will be targeted. Well, they're here illegally. I think our line is clear, Johnston said. We think if you are a violent criminal that is committing serious crime like murder or rape in Denver, you should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and you should be deported. We support that. We have always supported that. We'll continue supporting that. We worked with previous administrations on that. We will do it going forward. Okay. Are those the only 2 crimes that he's willing to go after in his city? Does property theft not count? Hey, they broke the law to be here. This is just idiotic. Okay, coming from a Fox News article, this actually came from they're using the research done by a group out of Colorado called the Common Sense Institute. It's a nonpartisan research organization dedicated to protecting and promoting the U.S. economy. Okay, as Democratic Denver Mayor Mike Johnston says he would be willing to go to jail over his opposition to Trump mass deportation plan. A new study claims the mayor's blue city has spent a whopping $356 million of taxpayers' hard-earned money on migrants. Eye-popping sum, which amounts to $7,900 per foreign national in the city, was revealed by an updated analyst coming from the Common Sense Institute. The group says it used city data to land on the stunning sum, which equates to 8% of the city's 2025 budget of $4.4 billion. The figures combine the city's budget as well as regional education and healthcare organizations. The CSI claims that the bulk of the $356 million spent on migrants was through education, with the city also splashing out on healthcare, hotels, transportation, and childcare. Denver is a sanctuary city, meaning it does not enforce immigration law, nor does the city cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement agents. And this is what the people of Denver elected, which means that they want to harbor dangerous criminals like that traffic children and women and bring drugs in and enjoy the violence they bring. Before Biden and Harris allowed the border to get as open as they were, we were slowly bringing down crime. The Democrats have been lying that the crime has not been rising, because it has been. And it's mostly because of stuff like this right here. These sanctuary cities are allowing criminals, violent criminals such as Trendarugia and groups like that, to move freely in this country. They're allowing murderers, sex traffickers to move freely within this country. These cities are being used as hubs between stops to traffic drugs into this country. What do these sanctuary city folks need to learn? They keep electing these politicians that are willing to spend millions upon millions of their tax dollars helping criminals. They are happy to allow American citizens to be murdered. They are happy to allow women to be trafficked for slave labor and for much, much worse. Children, the same. That's what it means to be a resident in a sanctuary city and support the sanctuary city. Yes, there are innocent folks who broke the law, by the way, so they're not actually innocent, that are in there and they're being poster children of, oh, this is what we are. No, all they are is up there as a front to the criminals. These criminals who just broke the law by breaking the law to come into the country are criminals, but they're so innocent of being front people so that gangs and cartels and other violent criminals can say, hey, look, these folks are the ones that you should be paying attention to. You shouldn't pay attention to all the violence that we do. That's all they are. Those criminals who are used as fronts that the Catholic Church protects and all these other organizations protect. That's all they are. They're just a front so that you're feeling bad for those, while victims are having all the many worse things done to them. So you are complicit in their crimes, Mike Johnston, as is so everybody who voted for you. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.